Alright. No, I gotta record it anyway. Oh. Rectangular prism. On a rectangular prism, it has two bases. What shape are the bases?
Rectangles.
Rectangles. So, your rectangles that you're going to count as a base are typically on the bottom and parallel to the top, unless otherwise stated, correct? Mm-hmm. Alright, so my bases would be this fancy one and the one that's parallel up here, correct?
Yes.
If I'm finding the total surface area, what formula am I using?
S equals PH plus 2B.
Alright, here's what I'm going to make you do today. Before you can plug into that formula, I want you to identify variables to the side, which is what you're supposed to have been doing. Because I noticed in my classes yesterday, the people who were not successful were not writing variables out to the side before they plugged in. Alright, so what variables do I need to identify out of this formula? Perimeter. And perimeter is perimeter of the one singular base, correct?
Yes.
So perimeter deals with how many sides?
4 sides.
4. So it's going to be this one, this one, this one, this one. So really it's 10 plus 4 is 14 times 2 to give me 28. So the perimeter of my base is 28. And I know that because if this side is 10, that side would be 10. This side is 4, that side would be 4.
Height is 5.
So another variable we need to identify is the h, the height. And height is your distance between your bases. So if this is my base and this is my base, what's the height between them? 5. Alright, next up, B, capital B. Is the capital piece important?
Yes, it's area.
It's area. It's the base of the base, meaning your length and your width multiplied together, right? Yep. So on my base, I got 10 as the length, 4 as the width. That gives me a base of 40. Have I identified my variables?
Yes.
Am I ready to plug in?
Yes.
Alright. So I'm going to get S equals 28, parentheses, because I love parentheses, 5 plus 2 stays a 2, and my base is 40. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Alright, and I take them 2 at a time. I group my multiplications together. 28 times 5, hold it up when you have it. Hold it up when you have it.
That's what I got.
Which gives you what?
140.
Plus
80.
Gives you
220.
Alright, centimeters squared, right?
Yep.
So my total surface area here is 220. How can I figure out the lateral? Because you can't solve the total without lateral.
S equals pH.
S equals pH. So within this formula, S equals pH is the formula for lateral. So when I multiplied, or when I plugged in 28 for perimeter and 5 for height, and multiplied it out, it got me 140. So the lateral, just the sides, would be 140?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, someone left a highlighter open. Oh, no. There's my lid. I'm about to X-nay y'all from highlighters. Because 7th graders have been leaving them on the ground. Alright. Flip to the front of your papel for me. There's a few things I want to hit on with you before I leave you be. If you don't have a highlighter, be a beneficial idea to get one.
Actually, I think I find it maybe it's like you are a highlighter. What?
Okay. So when we made this paper, or when we looked at it, we're like, yeah, that sounds good, but it only had like lateral and total in certain areas, and we're like, let's make them find lateral and total on all of it. So we got a few things to edit. Number 2. You see number 2?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What shape is that?
Triangular prism.
Alright, so triangular prism. So the bases on a triangular prism are what? Triangles. Alright. So if I were to find the base of my base, base of your base is 1/2 pH, right?
Yep.
Is that triangle
No.
No.
So could I find the base of my base?
No.
No. Therefore, I cannot find total. We're gonna mark out total. You can still find the lateral, but you're gonna mark out total.
Can we use what we learned to find it? With
Pythagorean theorem.
Yeah.
You could.
Because we have to 10 and the 12, and then we just have to plug in the b.
It would be a squared plus 12 squared equals 10 squared. And number 4, read it to yourself and then put your hand on your head. What is different about this problem?
You already have
We
the
have to
total,
find
but
one
you
of
have to
our-
find the height.
We have the total, we're finding a missing variable. See? Alright, so what shape is this? I'm gonna set you up and then let you go.
Rectangle.
Alright, so if I'm given total, what's the total surface area formula?
52.
pH
Formula.
plus 2b.
pH plus 2b. Alright, and it tells me the surface area is 52, correct?
Yeah.
So I'm going to plug that into the S, the total spot. Now, so if I'm finding perimeter, on a rectangular prism, the bases are the rectangles on top and bottom unless otherwise stated, right?
Yeah.
So if I'm looking at this rectangle, a rectangle is technically a square.
Yep.
What's the perimeter of my bases? 20. 7 plus 7, 3 plus 3, or 7 plus 3 is 10, double it. My perimeter is 20. And my height, I don't know, so I'm going to leave it as its variable. And my base. Base is the length and the width multiplied together, right?
21.
So I get 21. Alright, can I plug in the variables I know?
Yes.
So my perimeter was 20. 20 times height plus 2 times my base of, oh, that's funky. That got funky. 21. Yeah?
Yep.
Alright, so essentially what I'm doing here is solving for
50 for h.
For h. And when I'm balancing equations, I work furthest from the variable first, right? I isolate the constant. So if I got 20h plus 42, what would I cancel out to the other side first?
The 2 times 21 part.
The minus 42?
Yeah.
Because I cancel out my constant. Alright, I'm going to leave you with that. So, on this one, before I leave you off, cross out total because it gives it to you. And on teacher made, it does want the height whenever you get it solved out. And then you can use the height and plug it back in to find the lateral. Questions, comments, concerns, feelings?
No, ma'am.
Okay. If you do get a check answer on teacher made, but if you'd like to solve one and come check it with me and make sure you're on the right track, I will absolutely do that for you. Okay?
Yep.
So if you want to check in with me at any point, feel free. Alright, I'm gonna leave that up there for a little bit. You got this class period, it is posted in teacher made. You have about 30 minutes left in your day. Go team! Antoine, Xavier's trying to cheat. Can you pay attention to him?
No, I said it's not something.
Yeah, I know.
I like the people in here. Where's the second one? Pretty cool.
Oh,